Libertarian candidate for president Gary Johnson sat down for an interview with MSNBC's Steve Kornacki, and they spoke about drug use.
This too, you were mentioning the drug war, certainly the Libertarian platform calling for ending the drug war, especially when it comes to marijuana. You had mentioned, and I think we played this a few minutes ago in an interview with Susan Page recently, you said, I think, that you hadn't smoked marijuana in 7 weeks, that you wouldn't as president. I think that got a little bit of attention. How long had you been smoking marijuana recreationally prior to the last 7 weeks?
Well, I stopped smoking marijuana. My whole thing in life is health and wellness, but with the legalization of marijuana now, you have edible products. And I haven't had a drink of alcohol in 29 years. And hey, when it comes to admitting that as recently as a couple of months ago, I had some edibles, I hope people take that as I'm a transparent guy. I'm going to tell the truth in this whole process. And so truth and integrity as President of the United States, I think, are really tantamount to decision making. Would anyone have known that I consumed edibles 2 months ago? No, absolutely not. I've never done any of that in public. But for those close friends of mine that know that that's the case, look, I think the one unforgivable in life is hypocrisy. One thing and doing another. I'm not a hypocrite.
We've heard these controversies about marijuana use in politics before. Usually the context is somebody saying, when I was young, when I was in college, when I was much younger in life. Again, you're talking about the last 7 weeks. I'm just curious, based on the experience in the last couple months, the types of decisions, you were a governor, the types of decisions a governor might make, a president might have to make, do you think you could use marijuana edibles, you could smoke marijuana and make those decisions correctly?
Ugh. Look at this geek. Look at this dweeb over here. Gosh, Mr. Gary Johnson, I'm really concerned because you said you want to maybe do substances, and I was just wondering, you think you can make the decisions that are so important for the country? Would you high on the substances? Oh, you child. Oh, what a little baby you are. Could you imagine that question in any other context? Mr. Gary Johnson, I notice you drink coffee. Caffeine makes people really hyper. You have the nuclear launch codes when you're really feeling zippity and hyper and whatnot. Did you drink a Red Bull? Oh my God, that's a substance. Do you have anxiety issues? You take a Xanax? I don't know. Can you stand up to Putin while you're on Xanax? Fucking alcohol. Everybody drinks alcohol. Presidents had beer summits. Mr. President, I can't have you imbibing yourself and getting intoxicated, because who knows what's going to happen with Kim Jong-un. Oh, you fucking child. God, I hate Steve Kornacki. By the way, I never disliked him until right now. I mean, I never liked him. I never thought about him, because he's Steve Kornacki. Who the fuck thinks about him? But that was so annoying. Because he's really asking you like a toddler. Oh, gosh, Papa, did you have any substances? Oh, don't ruin my childhood. What a loser, man. All right, sorry, I got a little carried away there. But I think that's actually awesome on Gary Johnson's part. Now, obviously, the fact that the dude does edibles every once in a while, that's not a reason on its own to vote for him. But it is kind of true that he views it as, well, look, I'm just being honest. And for guys like this, for third-party candidates, they view, hey, balls to the wall, man. What are my chances in this thing anyway? It's super low, so I might as well go out there and just do whatever and see what happens. So in some polls, he's already polling over 10%, which is amazing since he's got no coverage at all. None. This is the first I've almost ever seen him in mainstream media. So him, Jill Stein of the Green Party, these are people who should get more coverage. Now, overall with Gary Johnson, look, he's not my cup of tea, but I get it. If you want to go for him over Trump or Hillary, I even applaud you for that because I think he's better than them. But, Jill Stein is to the left of me and probably even significantly to the left of me, but I'm fine with that. I would prefer Jill Stein. And I've explained before, in the U.S., it's fine to pick somebody to the left of you because they're not going to get everything they want anyway. So maybe we get exactly what I want if you have somebody who's to the left of me. So, I'm more in alignment with Jill Stein. But look, Gary Johnson, Jill Stein, they should get more coverage. I like that they're out there. Maybe this was an intelligent little ploy on his part to get even more coverage, because this is going to get more coverage that a presidential candidate's like, yeah, A few months ago, I had some edibles. What? So either way, that's a good thing, and I would implore everybody, and we'll do more coverage of these people moving forward here, but, look at his policies, because I'm sure a lot of my audience, if they don't like Jill Stein for a variety of reasons, or they don't like Hillary and they don't like Trump, as almost all of my audience doesn't like Hillary and Trump, by the way, I agree with you guys on that, then, yeah, you have other options. Other options, Jill Stein. Other options, Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson is the Libertarian Party. I would argue overall he's Libertarian-ish. I wouldn't say he's, cut and dry. He ain't like a Ron Paul Libertarian where Libertarians are almost like, that dude's right about almost everything in their mind according to their philosophy. So you could watch Gary Johnson's interview. He did a long conversation with Joe Rogan on his podcast. I recommend that. You could see if you like what he stands for. But it's good to have other voices in the race, and it's good that there's a little more honesty in this race with people like Jill Stein and Gary Johnson. And you don't have people who are overly calculating everything, like Hillary Clinton, who's just a political animal through and through. And you don't have maniacs who pretend like they're straight shooters as they lie all day long like Donald Trump.